A good friend's been running into a difficult problem. They use their minivan maybe once or twice a month, and the problem they were running into was the battery kept dying out. Even when they're not running the car, the GPS, the entertainment system, and other things in the car drain the battery really slowly. So the problem is how to keep the battery charged up when you're not running it. Well, short of coming out and starting the car up every couple of days, or hooking it up to a trickle charger, up to a wall socket, the best solution is a solar charger. They don't have an outlet at the front of their house, so having a wireless setup here where they have their own solar panel makes sense. So that solar panel is from Harbor Freight. It's a 7-watt model, although you can use any low power panel that you want and just have it hooked up to a inexpensive charge controller. This one's from Amazon, although you can get a similar one from Harbor Freight. And the 7-watt panel from Harbor Freight comes with a bunch of adapters and cables, and these are known as SAE connectors. And the solar panel comes with some battery clips that lets you hook it up to a car battery, and you keep this thing trickle charged. So when you're running a solar panel, unless the panel is very low output, like say a 1.5, 3-watt model, you need to have a charge controller, because even though this is a low power setup, and that 7-watt panel is a low power panel, it'll still eventually kill your battery. You need a charge controller to keep it from overcharging the battery, because once this battery overcharges, you'll start destroying it. And I don't know if you've bought a battery recently, but you know, even back in March of 2022, this darn battery is over $200 a piece. So this setup with a solar charge controller keeps your battery topped off, never have to worry about dead batteries again, and it keeps everything good and in running condition. And always remember, you can't start the car and run it when you have the charger hooked up. Always make sure you disconnect the positive terminal, then you can start the car. Because at that point, if you're starting it, the alternator is going to kick too much current back into the charger and it can damage things. Now you notice the light is blinking. It's basically going nuts on you. You're supposed to unhook the solar panel before you unhook the battery connection. That's true of any solar charge controller, whether it's a cheap low power model like the 7-watt or a Victron expensive 60 amp controller, an MPPT for your home or RV. Whatever solar charge controller you got, you always got to make sure your battery terminal is hooked up first, then your solar cells. If you're disconnecting, you got to make sure your solar panels are disconnected first, then you disconnect the batteries. But in this case, because the solar panel puts out so little power, we don't have to worry about it killing the charge controller. The solar panel probably puts out around 200 to 300 milliamps, and the transistors in here are rated for several amps, so it's not a big deal. So anyways, before you start your car, always make sure you disconnect the solar charge controller. And of course, when you have it hooked up again, the charging state is normal. It's not blinking like crazy. So, hope the information is useful, and I hope it helps. Thank you for watching. Take care.